All right, we're ready to go. Aloha kako! Welcome to the Silver Bullet Podcast.
The Silver Bullet Podcast with your host, letter carrier, and shop steward, Pirate Jim.
My daddy was a miner, and I'm a miner's son. And I'll stick with the Union till every battle's won. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
With gratitude, mutual respect, and reciprocity, we acknowledge the ancestral home, culture, and oral teachings of the Treaty 7 signatories, which includes the Siksika Nation, Piikani Nation, Kainai Nation, the Îethka Stoney Nakoda Nation, consisting of the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Good Stoney bands, and the people of the Tsuut'ina Nation. We also recognize the Métis people of Alberta Region 3, who call Treaty 7 their home. We respect all people who share, celebrate, and care for the Treaty 7 territory of Southern Alberta, and we honor the original caretakers of the land.
All right, I gotta remember to fix that. It always cuts off at the end. Oh well. What he says at the end is caretakers of the land, and it always gets cut off. Anyway, aloha, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Silver Bullet Podcast. It's been a little while. I've been working on some stuff behind the scenes for the show, most of all, to have it make some money so that I can get some new equipment so that, things don't do what they were just doing. They're going, ooh, and cutting off early. Because it's all because I got a crappy computer. An old brain in this old computer. And so the processing takes a while. I know the feeling. Anyway, so how's it going? Lots been going on in our world, I guess. It seems like a lot and then not. I was gonna continue on with the OGO meetings where Jim Gallant and Minister Lightbound spoke. However, something else came up on my radar a couple of days ago. A movie about what happened to the USPS in the last 20 years, since the 80s. Excuse me, that's actually more than 20 years. 40 years? Oh my gosh. Anyway, what's happened down there is what's happening here. And I can totally see now where all this is going, and the manufactured crisis that we're feeling and experiencing and all those things. Anyway, that'll be coming up. It's called The Great Postal Heist, and I'm looking forward to that. But before that, let's get to our updates from James Ball. Actually, I think we have two. Just make sure I get to the right one. And we'll share the screens. All right. This is not today's. This is from earlier in the week.
Hey, folks. My name's James. I'm the president of the Edmonton Local of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers. It's November 15th, and it's a beautiful day out here. You can see behind me, I'm not sure how well it comes through in the video, but there's like little lily pads of ice floating down the North Saskatchewan River. Actually quite pretty. Every once in a while they rub up against each other in the bank and they make a kind of satisfying little snow ice noise. But anyway, let's get into it. So November 15th is important to postal workers because that is a year ago since we started our strike. And a lot has happened in that time. And a lot of it has not been favorable for us, but we're still here. So November 15th, we started our strike. I think they went on for 7 weeks. Then we were ordered back to work by the government under Section 107 of the Labor Code. Then there was the Kaplan Commission, which refused to take any input from the public and made recommendations based on that. But nobody really seemed to put any faith in the Kaplan Commission. I don't know. And then maybe it's because it was bought and paid for by the government. And then let's see what happened after that. Then we were forced to vote on the offer that Canada Post had given us. I think they were convinced by their own social media that we were we were in dispute with our national executive on the orders we'd given them 6 months prior, and that didn't turn out well for the corporation. We soundly defeated that vote. Then the corporation refused to come back to the table, and then they were preparing to make an offer when Minister Lightbound put his foot in it and said a bunch of things that would be unilateral changes to our contract and threaten the jobs of 20 to 30,000 postal workers. And then we went on strike for 2 weeks because of that. At some point in there, we had a flyer ban. Right now, there is the OGGO, which is a government report where MPs from the government review operations of the government or crown corporations. And then there's supposed to be a mandate review going on, which was originally a public mandate review, but the words public have been conveniently scrubbed from that review. And that takes us to today. So why is today a beautiful day? Well, it's a year. Guys have done like 9 weeks worth of actual striking, flyer ban, put up with abuse on social media, which people with good ideas don't post on social media, just the dumpster fire that it is.
I have some good ideas.
You put up with the mental stresses of dealing with the fact of you being insecure in your job. The contract could be removed at any time. There's so much uncertainty. We don't know what the case is. We don't know what's going on. And you have weathered that storm. And you've done so pretty admirably. But we've learned a few things. And one of the things we've learned is that I don't think the corporation intends to follow their mandatory duty of care or the fiduciary responsibility to the corporation. So what do I mean by that? Hang on a second, I gotta read it to you. So what that means in layman's terms is that the duty of care means that when exercising their power and discharging their duties, they must exercise care, diligence, and skill that a reasonably prudent person would exercise in comparable circumstances. I don't believe they've been doing that. And a fiduciary duty of loyalty requires that the directors and act honestly in a good faith with a view to the best intentions of the corporation. The duty requires that directors and officers avoid conflicts between the interests of the corporation and any opposing interest, including their own. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but it sure doesn't feel like that's what they're doing. I'm not sure how it all works, but I don't feel that they're acting in the best interest of the company, even over its shareholders. I feel like they're acting in their own interests or in the interests of Purolator or the market. I'd like to see some sort of legal action on that. I mean, I could be corrected by somebody who knows better than I do, but I think it's worth pursuing. But I think I might have to leave that up to a national office at this point. I don't know what my rights are or my powers are in regards to that. Can I, as an individual citizen, enter into this lawsuit? I don't know. If I have the money to enter into this lawsuit, I'm going up against a company that makes billions of dollars a year and is not afraid to use it against its own members in the grievance process when we have clear decisions from arbitrators that say that we're correct and they're wrong. So if we're going up against a company that doesn't care about its financial losses or its wins or its status, how do we win? Well, that's really easy. It's public engagement, and specifically you engaging with the public. Honestly, how many of you contacted your MP? I have. So get on that if you haven't, because I can't do it for you. They're not interested in talking to me. And if they're in my area where they're actually going to somewhat listen to me, I have contacted them. 2, You got to contact your family. You got to get them to do the same thing. It doesn't matter what side they're on, because right now there's a Conservative member in Ontario who's put forward a petition to the House of Commons to go after the CUPW plan of action rather than the corporate plan of action. And the Liberals, they're right attacking us. Like, to say that they hired Doug Henninger again after losing billions of dollars, while his plan he tabled was to lose billions of dollars, indicates that it's all part of the plan and they want to continue, which means that they're going to end up, in some degree or another, privatizing the post office to make sure that the profitability of the private industry is as high as possible.
We get to see that.
You're the ones who are going to pay.
In the movie later.
Both the workers and the public. You're going to have to get involved. There's just no question about it. There's going to need to be a groundswell of people who are willing to do the work. We're doing things at the local office. We just sent out a poster to all of our affiliate offices saying that the company's going to close this post office. It's a neat little poster. I'm sure I can get a copy for you.
I like that.
We have some of the office. But we need to start the conversation, both in rural and urban centers. And, I can't do that. I can't be everywhere. We have a lot of work to do at the office all the time. Not to sound like, oh, woe is me, but there are plenty of days that are more than 12 hours. And I don't get overtime for that. So we need you guys to help out. So it comes down to. But there is a pathway forward. But that pathway is through public engagement and then forcing the government to open the mandate review to public involvement. So let's get on that. You guys have made it a year. Now we just need to refocus our efforts, not on the company, but on the public. You guys have a great day.
So yeah, totally agree, James. Totally agree. And yeah, I find it's interesting. I can talk to a complete stranger about what's going on with us quite easily and talk for a long time if they don't stop me. But I find trying to convince people closer to me, like my family, to contact an MP, it's strange because I've said everything else, I think, but that. So yeah, so if you're watching, all of my family, please contact your MP and tell them don't shut down the rural post offices, even though they're going to tell you they're franchising them. And later on, you're going to see what franchise means. And actually, that, maybe we'll get right to it with my thing. I was working in the lab late one night I was working and it dawned on me because I clear a post office, what we call a retail postal outlet, on my route here in Calgary, the Silver Springs RPO. And I come in through the back and I go in, and the door to the Canada Post counter is what it is, and a little storage room, which is not much bigger than the room I'm in at the moment. But when I come from the back door to there, I go through all of this food in the back storage, like drinks and medications and shavers and chips and blah 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 blah, right? And I went, wait a second, I'm about to lose my job, and I just walked through a bunch of stuff that's being sold for profit for a lot. Like, what is it, almost double when you mark something up from, I don't know, when I had a store, I would always basically double it. No, I wouldn't. Anyway, it would depend on what the sidetrack. Anyway, so it dawned on me that they're selling all this stuff, and there's a lineup of people at the postal counter, and they came in just to go to the postal counter, but they walked by all this stuff. And if, I'm kind of thirsty, I want a Coke. Well, I'll just grab a Coke on my way out. Oh, look, I need some milk too. I might as well get some milk here. And wow, the eggs here are actually cheaper than over at Sobeys. which there's another postal outlet in. So anyway, they bought that. So that person that came to the postal counter to buy a stamp also went and spent more than the stamp that they complain about, that, you know, we're raising the prices and people are going to complain about the price, yet we need the money. So what do you want? Do you want us to survive or not? But anyway, that's the whole other subject. But the point is, all the profits from that Coke that person bought and that eggs and whatever went to Shoppers Drug Mart, not to Canada Post. See? So why the heck are we letting the profits from our customers not go to us? Right? Yeah, so here's the gut punch. And this is what got me. And I wish I could play this as a regular file. But again, that's technology for you. Whoops. Guess I have to share that for you. So here's my thought. What we do is we buy back the grocery stores instead of having them benefit from us.
What if every post office in Canada could also be your grocery store? Sounds crazy, right? But Canada Post already sits inside thousands of grocery stores in Canada. So what's the problem? It's the private chains like Sobeys and Shoppers Drug Mart who make the money, while the public postal system loses hundreds of millions every year. So, here's my plan. What if we flip that? Instead of Canada Post inside grocery stores, the grocery store moves inside Canada Post. 6,000 post offices in every province, every community. We could turn them into public grocery hubs, selling affordable food run by the same people who deliver the mail. Profits stay public. Prices drop. And the same network that connects the country could help feed it. So tell your member of parliament to stop selling out Canada Post. Demand Postmarket Canada, a network that fights inflation, feeds communities, and keeps profits public. Because if we can deliver a parcel anywhere in this country, we can damn well deliver affordable food too. We're giving Sobeys and Shoppers Drug Mart public service profits. Let's take them back.
All right. I gotta hit the stop button. So there. See my idea here? And we have everything set up other than maybe refrigeration. And for those postal offices that are still post offices in the rural towns, yes, there will have to be investment into making an area for some retail that involves refrigeration. And oh my goodness, we've never been able to do that in history, it seems, anywhere. Like, why is it? And what they're going to say, the guys in charge, the guys running the country, they're all going to say, wow, why are we're not in the grocery business. Why should we get into the grocery business and blah, blah, blah. So then why aren't we delivering them? Why aren't we delivering food to these places? Like it does fit the mandate, and postal banking does fit because it's fit other places, and that's being shut down because of the big banks. And that's why we're not going to do. That's why we're in there. That's why the grocery stores are making money off us, because the big grocery chains don't want us in their business, because we can make the bottom public profit free price. And that's what's going on here with our mail. They want to get rid of the Canada Post price so they can have price wars like gas, up and down and up and down. With Canada Post here, there's a baseline, and it keeps everybody in check because they can always go with the cheapest, right? And maybe there are problems with service sometimes, but that's because of the boss. That's not us as the letter carrier. That's because of their stupid systems. Stupid. And they're making it stupid every day. Here in Calgary, on the other side of town, that we call East Side, they've decided their brilliant idea is because some letter carriers are coming back early, and it seems to be consistent, except when those people are sick. And then you have a term, a temporary person or a relief that's going in there completely new and panicked and all the rest. So they don't finish early. But anyway, the point is, so what they've done is they've taken those particular routes that are consistently coming back and they decided we're going to save some money or whatever, and we're going to use that truck for that route for another truck. So we're going to basically, the people come, and this works for Purolator, but it doesn't work for us because of how we deliver mail. The people show up and it's like, all right, here's the truck, but it's not the same truck that you had yesterday because it's first come, first served kind of thing. So they're sharing trucks. Supposedly, we got trucks sitting around doing nothing because we don't have charging stations, and we're sharing trucks to get rid of them, and they take them away. So those extra trucks go where? Where are they? They took away our spare trucks, so that now, when my truck breaks down or something, or at the last minute, or say I'm out there, there's nothing. So your mail doesn't get delivered because our boss up at the top decided we're just going to get rid of trucks and make this new system that's going to be effective somehow. Anyway, these are the choices they make that for no reason. We don't need to do that. We don't need to share trucks and make life chaos for the letter carriers and the customer, because we're at the very bottom. The customer and letter carriers, everything trickles down, as they say. Trickles down to us, and we got to solve every single problem, and we get more every day, added on and added on and added on. Oh, today we're doing this. Oh, can you, when you're done, all the extra flyers, instead of leaving them at your where we did, which has a time value, you got to walk across the depot to leave them in a bin. Well, there's, anyway, that and this and that and this and this and this and this and mail slots and all these things that add extra time that a computer can't justify, because a computer can't fiddle through things when their hands are cold, or a computer doesn't have to open up a community mailbox when it's freezing and the lock is broken and you got stuff in your hand or whatever. There's lots of things. Anyhow, so we can make profits immediately by all the retail outlets we have right now in grocery stores, Rexall, Shoppers Drug Mart, Sobeys. We give them a great offer to give up those particular locations, and we buy them out and we become Canada Post Mart, and we sell things at cost. And of course, they're not going to say yes to that because that means a cut in their profits, and they don't want us in there. But this is for the people, and the people have the power, and we need food. We need to eat, and I'm tired of paying profit for food. If I could grow my own and have my own farm in the backyard, I would if I could. There's no way I would starve to death because I'm definitely not a good farmer. I wouldn't be a good farmer. So there you go. Think about that for a bit. And then someone had mentioned to me on Facebook this morning about a national moving company, which I'm not sure what that's about, but that sounds interesting too. Yeah, we could do moving. We could be Canada Move Mart. Anyway, let's see what else we got. Oh, right, let's go on. North Post Club. Those of you who watched show in the past, I got involved with this. This popped up on social media, and this is cool. Guess I should hit play.
Canada Post matters. As a creative, this Canada Post strike reminded me how important real mail is. So I'm launching a tiny rebellion to bring letter mail back, the North Post Club. Each month, you'll get a theme letter, a 5x7 art print or coloring page, and a rotating creative treat. No bills, no flyers, just joy in an envelope. So head to my bio and let's bring letter mail back.
Yeah. And I signed up. And I got, let me see if I can do this in front of the camera here. So there's my, I got a letter. Oh yeah, I I had this set so I'd be like a magician. So I got a letter, and the picture is beautiful. And the part I like the best, a little stamp of the same print with some stars and such. Is that awesome? And here's the letter. 23rd of October. 23. I think she meant 25. Anyway, hello from the North Post Club. Hi, I'm Tara, a watercolor artist in northern BC. I paint the things that make my heart happy. Wild places, curious animals, and cozy food-tinted moments. All through a Canadian lens. I started this little club to slow down. My goodness. Slow down, share real art, and build community through the mail. Yes! Letters feel like small campfires, warm, imperfect, and worth gathering around. Each month you'll find a note from my studio, a mini print or coloring page, and a sticker. This is my tiny rebellion to bring back letter mail. Since its peak, letter mail in Canada has fallen by nearly 2/3, yet the service matters more than ever. I want a way to experience art and friendship you can actually hold. No screens, just paper, ink, and a stamp. Carrying a little piece of joy. And I had so much, when the letter came, I was so excited to open it up. Even though I knew what the picture was going to look like, I was so excited because this is such an awesome thing. And there's boo birds out there, there's trolls that think it's stupid and blah, blah, blah. But if it's stupid, it made me feel good. This owl was born from dusk walks through spruce and pine, lavender skies, gold in the branches that hush when the world holds its breath. As nights turn crisp and frost touches the grass, Willow, is one of your name Willow, as one of you named her, so this is Willow, becomes our night messenger, ferrying letters between trees. She felt so right as a custom stamp. A small, pocketable bit of magic. Woohoo. And she wants me to write back if I can, and I totally forgot, and I have actually. Hopefully, I'm going to have her on here on the show as a guest. She's so busy, but she's been getting a lot. I think she got 60 new people sign up, and let's see her update after. This was just after I signed up, and this is a couple of weeks ago, so there's been some updates since, but we're catching up.
I got so much hate last week when I said that Canada Post matters. The comments lit up like, no one cares about letter mail, there's no money in it, get a real job. Here's my reality. I run a small art business, and every month I send out real written letters and art. People who actually look forward to actual mail, and that's why I started the North Post Club. I'm bringing back letter mail because if we don't use it, we may lose Canada Post for good. And if you believe this still matters, drop a heart, share this post. And if you want to join my club, you can find the link in my bio.
Ta-da! So join the club. I should have thought of that ahead of time and put the link up here. But if you look at her video there, the North, maybe it's on. I was gonna say maybe I can show it on here. No. Oh well, the North Post Club, and it's just search it, you'll find it. It's fantastic. All right, let's move on. Almost time for the movie, but oh yes, my commercials. Like I said, I need to make some money, and unfortunately this show doesn't pay me. This is all a labor of love. I use my phone. The camera here is my phone. And so I can't like do things while I'm doing this that involve talking to people. I have to anyway. So I've had to actually get a second job. luckily, it's I can do it from home. But anyway, I'm gonna help people, and here it is. Here's what this will make money for us. Moving is stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Hi, I'm Pirate Jim, the host of the Silver Bullet podcast, a letter carrier, and a Moving Waldo certified relocation specialist. I help you compare instant quotes from verified, fully insured movers, all in one place. And I guide you through every single step of the move, step by step. So whether you're relocating across town or across the country, I can connect you with trusted carriers. I handle the details, and I make sure there are no surprises on moving day. And the best part? My services are completely free for you, and you still support my podcast monetarily. So, let's make your next move your easiest one. 587-288-5707 and my Jim Kimo Samuelson at gmail.com email. So if you're moving, I can help you with that. Literally, I get on the phone with you and we walk through every room of your house and we count the boxes and we write down and I put in my little program here what you got, like if you got a piano or a couch or whatever. Peloton. If you have a Peloton, those things are special, and we need special boxes for Peloton. That was something that I've learned doing this. So yeah, I'm basically your moving agent. If you were a musician or something, actually more like a road manager and agent. I set things up and get you all ready, and then the day of the move, well, a few days before the move, we get you ready and prepared. So when it happens, it's quick and easy and painless. The best part is, any city in Canada, I can help you. If you're going across Canada or further distances, I do have to send it up to the other agents that are level 2s, they call them, but I can do within cities. All right. So let me help you move, and it'll be stress-free. And the best part is that after we go through all that information, we come up with the best quote, the cheapest quote, and all of the movers have been pre-vetted. They've gone through screening of insurance and background checks and all the rest, right? So they've been approved, and we're improving more and more every day. And if you're a moving company and you'd like to be involved, I can help you with that too. All right. So all the profits from this go to this podcast and to the Workers Fight Back Network, the Workers Fight Back Network that this podcast is on. Have I even talked about that? I don't even know. I can't even remember. But it's something that I'm creating for future creators in the labor movement. So if I have a nurse, for instance, who has a podcast, I want her to air her show on my network. And then we're going to be sharing the profits of the monetization of all the things bringing in the money, the Moving Waldo, and well, the other affiliate. I might as well go to that commercial too. So we also have our first affiliate, and it's actually the program I use a lot for video editing, Moavi. And here we go. There's actually oh, we got no sound. Why do we have no sound? Well, that sucks. There's supposed to be sound. Well, then. Oh, well. Maybe I'll just... Oh, you know what? I'll play it again, and maybe I'll do the... I'll do the overdub here. So, you can drag and move and the clips. You can do the noise removal and auto subtitles all by a click, and color adjustments just like this. Look at that, changing the colors. All right. So when you sign up with Moavi for a subscription, oh, that would be why. That's the wrong commercial. That was the part of the commercial. That's why there's no sound. Well, I'll come back to that later because I'll have to upload that. All right. Let's see what some of the public has to say.
We've reached the part where they come for the scientists. Let's talk about it. My name is Alina Cameron. I'm president of the Ontario Autism Coalition.
Oh.
I'm mother of a young person.
That is the wrong one. Gotta love.
All right, so a lot of people commented on my last reel that have a fundamental misunderstanding of what Canada Post is. Canada Post. All right, so a lot of people commented on my last reel that have a fundamental misunderstanding of what Canada Post is. Canada Post isn't a business that's supposed to be making money. It's an essential service. Just like how our healthcare system or educational system doesn't lose money, it simply costs money to run. Canada Post provides an incredible service for many rural Canadians that rely on it. You can send a letter to them all the way from across the country for pennies on the dollar. If you try and send that exact letter or item through FedEx, Amazon, or any other delivery service, how many more times expensive do you think it'll be? Do you think they would even consider delivering it? Speaking of businesses, did you know that Canada Post owns 91% of Purolator? Purolator's yearly revenues are up $300 million compared to last year. That's because the profitable shipments are being pushed to Purolator. While Canada Post complains of its dire financial conditions, its subsidiary, Purolator, found the means to purchase Livingston International. That's Canada's largest customs brokerage firm for an undisclosed sum. This is the exact same playbook governments have been using for decades. Defund a public service until it's about to fail and it's bare bones, then use that excuse to privatize it and sell it off to their private corporations or friends. Don't fall for it for the 100th time.
Yeah, don't fall for it for the 100th time. And here's another person helping us out and supporting us.
Y'all have been brainwashed by capitalism so bad that you hate Canada Post for some reason.
Here we go.
Y'all have been brainwashed by capitalism so bad that you hate Canada Post for some reason. And this is coming from somebody who is disabled and runs a small business whose basically entire business runs on Canada Post, and them being on strike right now means I can't run my business and I can't afford my medication, and
this
yet
was
I still
2 weeks
support
ago,
Canada Post.
the last 2 weeks in
striking
September.
workers. I need you to picture a race that is happening on a field with a track, and let's say there are 4 runners. Only one of those runners is required to run the entirety of the track, while the other 3 runners only have to run half of the track and then come back. And that same runner that has to run the entire track, they get a ball and chain strapped to each ankle. Would you expect that runner to win, even though technically that runner is the fastest out of all 4 people that are running this race? No, you would not. That is in effect what we are doing to Canada Post, and then getting mad that they're losing money. And let me explain. Canada Post is the only one that is mandated to deliver not only letters, but packages to the entirety of the country. And let me remind you, we live in the 2nd largest country in the world. Canada Post is also a crown corporation. Now, crown corporations are only created when there is a needed essential service that is not profitable for a private company to do. And I know what you're going to say, but they're mandated to be self-sufficient. I don't care if they're mandated to be self-sufficient because the mandate is stupid. Canada Post is the only one that has to deliver to the entire country, while all the other companies, those delivery companies, get to choose where they deliver to and will only deliver to the most profitable areas for them. So those private companies are in effect siphoning any potential revenue coming into Canada Post in the profitable areas while forcing Canada Post to deliver to all of the places that are not profitable, meaning that they lose money every time they deliver there. How exactly are they supposed to make a profit then? That doesn't make any sense. That's dumb. That's illogical. And what are you going to do if you just let Canada Post go bankrupt and privatize like mail and delivery? Parts of the country just don't get mail and delivery service. Rural, indigenous communities don't get access to food. don't get access to medications, don't get access to clothing. These are all the things that Canada Post delivers in those communities. Also, what do you do with all of those employees? What happens to them? They don't have a job anymore, and then what? They have to live. They're citizens. They have to eat. So are we going to make a government program to make sure all these laid off mail carriers and all of Canada Post, those workers still get to eat? Mm-hmm. If we're going to do that, then why don't we just fund Canada Post?
Exactly.
And then what do you think happens to like package delivery for the rest of us? Again, we live under capitalism. Do you think that these companies, like these other private companies, keep their package delivery prices low because they love to see their customers having a great time? No, they charge what they charge because they cannot charge more than Canada Post or nobody would use them. So with Canada Post gone,
exactly,
nothing is stopping them from skyrocketing their costs or their prices for you to deliver things and then lowering the conditions of the workers. Canada Post sets the standard for working conditions and workers' rights in our country. Just like Canada Post is the reason why we have paid maternity leave in this country. They went on strike, demanded paid maternity leave, and now the entire country has paid maternity leave. That's how this works. Getting rid of Canada Post does not benefit the average person in any way, shape, or form. The only people that it benefits are the people who make money at the private companies. And getting rid of Canada Post will not make your life cheaper, will not make your life easier, will get rid of more worker protections in that industry specifically and overall in the country and make everyone's life worse. And yet you're mad at the workers. Last year, y'all claimed that Canada Post ruined Christmas because the workers were on strike. Well,
and in 2018.
If they're so essential that them being on strike ruins your Christmas, then we should be supporting them, making sure they make living wages and making sure that they get the correct contracts and can live happy, healthy lives. What?
And the boss
We should
bargain
be
in good faith.
demanding that the government fund Canada Post. I will never understand why we think Canada Post needs to be profitable. It doesn't need to be profitable. It's a service. We don't expect the police or fire departments to be profitable. We don't expect the ROM, GO, Via Rail. I could name how many things, school boards. They don't need to be profitable. They provide a service. Canada Post is no different. And it's not going to benefit you to get rid of Canada Post. So how about we band together and get them what they need so that we can all live our happy lives instead of allowing capitalism to convince people to all squabble at the bottom while the rich get richer and we all live worse lives.
Exactly. That's my point exactly. Well, I really want to show you this one. Let's see if it loads. It probably won't. Oh, it's going to. And this is, I believe, the real commercial for our affiliate. And then we're going to move on to the movie, The Great Postal Heist. So you can see the blueprint that's already been put in motion, and already you could totally see what's going on here when you watch this. But before that, we need to listen to our affiliate that I was going to mention is having a Black Friday special, but I have no access anymore to the codes because the deadline has almost passed. But you can get this.
If you create videos like I do, podcasts, community stories, TikTok videos, editing can be a real joy or a total headache. I know that one. That's why I use Moavi. It's a quick, powerful, beginner-friendly, and very fast tool. You can drag and drop edit. You can use AI noise removal. You can do auto subtitles and color changes, correction, just like this. Everything in one place. And right now, you can get 15% off a yearly subscription with the Silver Bullet Podcast exclusive coupon code. It's really long and it's right there, so you can either take a picture of it or just go to the link on the screen in the comments and on the YouTube page. And that link is available from November 1st until December 15th, 2025. So use the link on the screen at the end at the checkout and support your channel and get a great deal. Moavi, create your story today.
All right, so I should really I don't have the link to put in the comments at the moment, but it'll be in the show notes, and I'll be putting them in the channel, Workers Fight Back channel, the description of the channel. I'll have our affiliates in there. And this sale goes until December 15th, and then there'll be something new, and we'll update then. So, ta-da, please support us by using these services, and we have more coming. I'm going to start selling the stuff I wear, hopefully, if they let me. All right, I think it's time to move to our feature. Today's show is kind of going to be broken down. I'm going to try and do shorter shows because the analytics are telling me 2 hours and a half. I can't do that anymore. And as you noticed, I have also been breaking down some segments into shorter things. But anyway, let's get started a little bit here. Do I want to? Yes, we will. Let's watch a little bit of this, and maybe I can turn it off right at the right spot. 'Cause we can only watch about 15 minutes of it, and then I have to shut down for a bit and come back later. All right, so let's do this. I love it when I improvise. Not really.
I'm hoping my buddy comes out. The young handicap guy right here. What's up, Jason? And he usually comes out, gets his mail. How you doing, buddy? No! All right, is that good? All right, you got it, Jason. Have a good day, bud. Be careful. No, you can't get in the box or anything, so I'll hold his mail for him, and then I'll come out and I'll give him his mail. I mean, you just befriend these people. They're like family to you. So I see them coming up, I'll just grab their mail or something like that. They get things like clockwork, like their medicine, their checks, so you know when that's coming, and they know. Some customers get that special attention. Seatbelt on. It's part of the job. When it gets to that point, too, it's not even like a job, it's just like a normal family thing that you're doing with them, for them.
You can leave a letter on your door, and it will be hand-delivered to a spot thousands of miles away in the most remote corner of the United States.
It's just really great. I mean, I don't think there's a bigger bargain in the world these days.
That's a miracle right there. It takes 3 or 4 of those to get my normal cup of coffee. But you can get this letter anywhere in the world, and you trust it's going to go there.
The Postal Service delivers 155 billion pieces of mail every year, approximately 40% of the world's mail.
You can actually see the people that you're touching, and I'm a people person, so it gives me a good feeling.
That's why I love my job. This moment you're watching.
We come here for the news. We come here for our mail, for the kids to play. I mean, this is just kind of our social point of Evanston.
It's a post office, and you know the postmaster. If there are clerks there, you know them. You know they're there to serve you.
They see each other. They get to talk about things that are happening and what they need to get involved in town.
It can be politics. It can be a bond issue. It can be that there's a forest fire 2 miles down the road coming your way.
Each place is composed of different people, and everybody's got a story to tell.
The post office is kind of a window on the world.
You look forward to it. Take care.
It's
a nice interlude.
On one
Hi,
side.
Jack. How are things? A little bit of information about the neighborhood and the community.
Take good picture.
A real life spice in the community.
The first thing I learned when I came to the Postal Service was 3 words: the sanctity of the mail.
I'm Jay, and this is my dad.
Right now we're in front of the Maple Crest Station in Maplewood, New Jersey. My job was box clerk, window clerk, and I spent many wonderful years here taking care of beautiful customers.
He always had a lot to say about his job at the post office.
I felt a feeling of accomplishment every day I came home from work.
I love the attitude of those that work here. They're very personal. They give you good advice like you just got it today.
I like to help people, and I care about them, and I want to give them the best service and most knowledgeable service that I could.
After hearing the stories for 27 years and watching what he went through to keep his job, I set out to uncover if what happened to him was happening everywhere.
Okay. I need to stop for a little bit. Did you see those moments? That's why I go to my job. And my boss is trying to take that away from me. He's trying to take that away from you. For what? For profits, for some mystical reason. Because there's profits to be made in selling off chunks and such in the transactions like Mr. Trump does with his cryptocurrency and his all those things. Manipulating. Anyway. You're going to watch a story of why my job matters. And I hope it touches your heart. Because this has barely started. I've already watched this thing. And I don't want to lose the relationship I have with my customers, and the people that run those small post offices in the rural towns do not want to lose the relationships they have with you. They want to help you. And our boss makes it so tough for us to help you. He's giving us no time for customer service.
I loved my job when I went to work at the post office. It was a tough job. A lot of the jobs were playing out around here at the time. I worked in the textile industry, and the mill I was working at was closing down.
When I started at the post office, I was 27 years old with 2 children, and I had 3 jobs working at the mall. They were all minimum wage jobs, and there's no way I could support my children.
I couldn't have found a better job. You know, the money was great, the hours. It was just a great place to work. But as time went on, I had never been messed with in my whole career till after I turned 51 with so many years in. And it's almost like they'd had their usefulness out of me and it was time for me to go.
Don't talk to nobody.
Deliver the mail as fast as you can, cut the lawns, climb over somebody's bushes. They actually tell you that.
They're trying to get you to speed up.
And then they
and if anything,
catch you
get
doing
you
it.
to break safety measures. But they won't tell you that. It's big time stress.
I got to do everything right. If I do one thing wrong, the 99 things I did are negated.
My chest was pumping and my head was about to pop.
It's like a mutual distrust. The employees don't trust the supervisors, managers, and the managers don't trust the workers.
It's basically a war zone. You're on one side and they're on the other.
The system right now, as the Postal Service operates, it's counterproductive. In many places, it's a day-to-day battle.
I was told by several postmasters and supervisors throughout my career, I will follow you till I catch you do something wrong.
In this postal culture, you're the enemy if you speak up.
We'll find a way to get at you for opening your mouth.
I worry about someone going postal. This is not an option for me, but what about someone that has put their life into the post office? What if they find themselves in Brian's crosshairs, see no way out, and decide to fire back? What if I'm at work that day and get caught in the crossfire? I warned them. I put it in writing and I sent it to the EEO investigator. And I know that somebody took notice because the EEO investigator sent it to Charlotte, who sent a guy down to interview me for an hour to make sure that I wasn't contemplating something that
the district manager was having a town hall meeting. I told him, I says, we're giving you this paper, this petition, because we don't want to sit around and watch TV at the 11 o'clock news and something crazy happens in the post office, and we look at the TV and see you guys on there saying we didn't know anything was wrong. So we're putting you on notice that we have a problem. And then, of course, we have this disaster Tuesday morning where Steve Spencer committed suicide in the bathroom of the annex. I was totally shocked. We had no one. We didn't have anybody to talk to the carriers. We sent 2 people to the hospital after that. It's just a tragedy that they had to work through that.
Steve was this happy face. He was this happy face that you'd see in the morning, this friendly guy. He didn't have any problems. Not on the outside.
Steve was a straight up fella. He always willing to take the lead in all the things that the union and the Postal Service did for the community. He was a tireless worker.
There would be postal management supervisors that would be coming out and following Steve. At first, it was just every once in a while, but the last 3 months that he was alive, it had gotten to be 3-4 times a week.
So with that, we're going to pause. Because Steve was followed every day until he lost his mind. He was basically tormented. It's calmed down in my depot now, but before, when the boss thought he had the upper hand, just before he forced the vote on us in my depot, with telematics that are on our trucks, they would go after the people that, say, sped the most or used their seatbelt, didn't wear their seatbelt the most, and da-da-da-da-da. And because of the union contract, it protects us from them going and just saying, okay, well, number one on the top of the list, they're suspended automatically from this list of data, right? So because of that, they can't do that. So instead, their brilliant idea is to hire a health and safety gentleman who thinks that he's the God's gift to everything, an army sergeant or something, and a police officer. And they've been hunting down people. They follow them. And they not necessarily, they can't, well, they follow them until they do something wrong or catch them. And the treatment, it seems quite, oh, well, yeah, of course, they're doing something wrong, then they should get in trouble. But it's not what's happening, it's how it's being done. One particular letter carrier that I know, the incident, he had stopped in between a loop and was eating his lunch, and bang, 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 bang on his door, on his window. It scared him. Get out of the car, keys, show me your license, blah, 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 blah. Well, this was a gentleman that works for Canada Post. It wasn't a police officer. So he literally was feeling like he was being detained by police, right? And it's those little things. So it shakes you up for the rest of the day. And now you can easily, you'll keep thinking, you're delivering the mail and you're thinking you're getting angry of what just happened. And you're worried now, okay, well, now I'm going to be suspended because I was a little mouthy because they pissed me off and blah, 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 blah. And then, oh, I slip and fall and break my ankle. And then they'll suspend you without pay for the thing you got caught for or whatever. And now they'll try to, again, find some way to get out of your injury as well, right? Because that's what they always do. That's how I became a shop steward, because they tried to take me to the top of for an injury that they said I didn't happen on the premises of work during work time. I took them right to the top and I won. And they do that to everybody. If they can try to find a way to wiggle out of it, they're going to make you, the worker, pay for everything they force you to do. All of the physio, all that stuff. They wanted to charge me back. Anyway, I fought them. And anyway, I got to take a break. We're going to come back for the podcast again in a little bit so we can continue watching the Great Postal Heist. So stay tuned, true believers. We'll be right back. Well, not right back. In about an hour and a half. No, about 45 minutes.